Mehta, who is our lead mentor here in MCM, but he's also a boxing coach. And we're joined by his mentee, Franklin Vale Garcia. Welcome to the show, guys. Do you want to start by introducing yourself?
Thank you for having us. My name is Kevin Limeta. I'm the youth mentor for MCM with the program Partners for Success. And with me is Franklin Valle Garcia. He's one of my mentees. And
What's up, guys?
Oh, awesome. Thank you both for being here. I know we have so much to ask you and learn from you guys both, but we're going to do an icebreaker question before we kind of dive into the questions. And our icebreaker question is, what is your favorite sport to watch, and when was the last time you watched it? And we're going to start with Kevin, and then we're going to go this way.
it's not going to be too hard to guess. But I'm going to say it's boxing. And I watch it almost every day because I'm always studying
Okay.
different fighters and different strategies. But yeah, boxing, anything combat sports
Awesome.
related.
What about you, Franklin?
Yeah, me too. I like watching boxing as well, learning more and like studying the fighters. And last time I watched it was yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. What about you?
I'd say football. And last time I watched it was just during like January.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs, yeah.
I would say soccer or football. Soccer is the most American known way of knowing it. But last time I watched it, I've been watching here and there the games that's been going on. But yeah, I grew up playing that sport a little bit, so I really like it. But thank you both for sharing. With that, we're going to start with both of you learning more about you guys and the work that you do and how it's been for Franklin. So Kevin, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what led you to MCM and do the work that you're currently doing?
Yeah. Well, first started with the boxing. I was getting youth from, the community schools, San Rafael High and Terra Linda High, and I guess some of my students and kids that were going to the boxing kept talking to their teachers about me and how I helped them out. And I got kind of reached out from a school, Marin's Community School.
Oh, okay.
And then I ended up applying for a position there, which was mentoring the kids there. And I started there for about 6 months, and COVID hit. So, and then later on, somehow I came back, and I applied again for the following year when we came back from COVID. And I was there for, I think, almost the full school year until a position came here at MCM for the Partners for Success, and I took it. So that was a transition from Marin's Community School.
Oh, okay. Now, did you know what a mentor was before being paired up with Kevin? This question goes to you, Franklin.
Yeah, I knew what a mentor was, but I don't know. Sometimes like back then I had a mentor. I didn't really take it like too serious. I was like, oh yeah, they're just here and here and on. So I didn't know what a mentor was.
Okay. And thank you again for sharing kind of your background, because I think MCM, we do so much here, and there's, we're in different type of areas, and then there's areas that we are not aware of. And part of it is the mentoring that you do, and not just with Franklin, but with other students. And yeah, do you want to add anything, Kimberly?
Yeah. How has it been like working with Kevin?
It's been great. He's great.
And Kevin, how has it been for you working with mentees and
With mentees, it's been really amazing. I mean, working with different individuals, definitely different characters. But I'm kind of gonna talk more about Franklin and what the work that I've done with him. It's really amazing to see him grow, not only in school, his behavior. Overall, he's grown a lot, and he definitely has the full potential to do anything he wants to. He shows the hard work, the discipline, and a positive attitude towards everything. So, I really enjoy working with him, and kind of, it reminds me of why I do this. So, definitely We're really, really proud of him.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, I was gonna ask how long has Franklin been your mentee? How long have you guys been with each other?
I want to say we started working probably late September, early November.
Oh, of 2022.
Yes. So we started working. I want to say like early November. But it was like once or twice a week. But he started really, really investing in the sport, just on his own. No pressure from me, no nothing. Like, hey, if you want to do it, you want to come more, you want to do more than 2 days a week, then he's like, yeah, I want to come. So 3 to 4 days a week. So that's how it's been going.
And with Franklin, has there been, since November, has there been any like shift in your life with having Kevin as your mentor?
Yeah, a lot. I've been like Kevin has helped me a lot, like to change like my mindset, and like I've changed how like I used to behave and stuff. I'm just trying to improve myself, be the best version of myself too.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, well, I want to share a little bit of how I met Franklin. I think for me, I don't know what it is, but I got an immediate light from Franklin. When we first brought Franklin here, you were a bit quiet and you would just be like, hi. And he introduced us. But then the more I started talking to you, the more I saw you, talk more about the sport and learning more about what you're doing. And to me, I don't know, I just saw Franklin has like this light that if you meet him in person, like you automatically feel that energy. And yeah, so I'm so happy to hear, Franklin, that, before meeting Kevin, you had an idea of what a mentor is. You didn't take it that seriously, but you found a mentor that you can connect with. And I think that's important in our youth, and even you're in middle school, correct?
Yeah.
It's hard to find those people that can understand you. I think that usually adults think, oh, we're going to pair you with someone, and they think it's an automatic, like, yay, we work. Yeah, right? But in reality, it's not that. Sometimes you got to go through a couple people until you meet someone that can really understand you. What about you? Has there any been shifts in points of view while working with Franklin as a mentor and, working with youth today?
I don't know. Definitely, this is different. I think it's different, just for the fact that he's at a younger age than the other older kids. I'm working with kids that are 15, 16, 17, and they're stuck in their ways. So it's definitely pulling teeth with them sometimes. With Franklin, it's kind of seeing what are things that we need to work on and how we can attack those certain problems, or I don't want to say issues, obviously, but those little things that we need to work on. But I feel like it's easier to work with him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is Franklin your youngest?
He's my youngest. Yeah.
Oh, can you describe? Sorry.
No, you're fine. We started working at 12. Now he's 13.
So okay.
He's
the youngest.
He's still the youngest. Yeah. So.
Oh. How can you describe a little more your position? I feel like you're talking about like mentoring, like you do all this, but can you describe like what you do with like the other kids and like your like straight position, if that makes sense?
Boxing or more of the like
the mentor more.
I think the mentoring work that you do with Franklin and all the youth.
Yeah.
Okay.
In general.
In general. Yeah. Sorry. So we help them out with school every day. Everyday things like life. If they want someone to talk to, I kind of focus on school because school's really important. We go out, we have fun. I try to build a relationship with each individual, or if if I have a solid group that all of them work together, then we kind of go do team outings. We've gone bowling, we've gone play pool, we've come to the office, do homework. I check in with them daily. How are you feeling today? What's a good thing that happened? So a lot of check-ins. But yeah, we try to do something different. especially trying to show them something different other than what they see every day. You know, try to take them out to different places, different experiences. But with
Okay.
the mentoring, you know, school behavior. Obviously, you know, sometimes it's hard for them to talk to their parents. So I'm kind of, you know, in a sense, their friend or a big brother to some of them. So they, you know, get to have that type of relationship.
Oh, that's awesome. And you mentioned before that when after meeting Kevin and working with Kevin, it has helped you a lot. Do you want to share an example of something that he helped you in?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He's helped me with like motivation, like to keep pushing forward and stuff. And like with that, like what's it called? He gives me a lot of what's that word, bro? It's like when you like I forgot. But the word is like apoyando.
Oh, support.
Yeah, support. He gives me support, and that just helps me. It keeps me moving and stuff, and like it motivates me to not give up. And he's helped me a lot with my schoolwork. I've gotten better grades lately.
Straight A student now.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
At school, was there a struggle? Like, did you not connect with your teachers, or what was the challenge that you were facing before Kevin stepping in and helping you?
It was kind of like me versus myself, cause I would be kind of like lazy, bro. Like I didn't really want to do it, and
Okay.
then now I'm like, me tengo que poner las pilas.
Oh, okay.
I gotta do it.
No, it's the reason why I'm asking you these questions, because I think that usually older people assume that youth don't go through mental struggles with ourselves, and this is an example. And even there's more out there that they struggle with them themselves, and so having the right support system can help you. And usually at school, what they normally tell us is that, oh, you have to get your grades up, but they don't really help us, right? They just tell us, but there isn't like a guide or a path that helps you mentally and physically in your schoolwork. So I just want to get a little bit more of an understanding of your how you were, and then kind of where you are now. Do you want to add something?
Do you want to add something? Okay, sorry. I thought you were going to say something.
Hopefully he takes over, you know. Thank you guys for asking all these questions.
Yeah.
And
And was he into boxing before you guys were?
do you want to answer that?
Yeah.
What were you doing before boxing?
Before
Yeah.
boxing, I was kind of into basketball. So I was on this like little team, and I didn't really take it that seriously though. It was kind of whack, but I used to watch like random fights off like TikToks and Reels, but I never took it like that. I didn't see it like as a, oh, I want to do this and that. But sometimes I would, you know?
So you started boxing in November.
Yes.
That's when you first started.
Honestly, it was like here and there. But like I feel like he started really going 100% like in January.
And he's
But-
progressed a lot.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, you know, he's determined and he has the work ethic. So he's even on his birthday. I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to go out to dinner? Do you want to go watch a movie? What do you want to do? You know, I gave him options. It's like, hey man, I have my boxing stuff. Let's go to the gym. I'm like, no, it's your birthday. What do you want to do? He's like, no, we're going to the gym. I'm like, all right. So, you know, it kind of shows you where he's at mentally and that work ethic that he has. But before boxing, you know, he was a little, he got into little fights at school and, you know, so he kind of had that little background. But now, you know, I have a strict policy. You can't be fighting outside of the gym. You know, you can definitely hurt somebody now that he knows what he's doing. And each punch has a purpose, you know? So, but, you know, he's kind of definitely fixed his behavior at school, inside, outside of school, at home. And, you know, he's doesn't involve himself in that environment anymore.
And it's great. I just realized, Franklin, I think you are the youngest guest we've had on Tay Radio.
Oh, yeah.
And which is amazing. And again, our Tay Radio's main purpose is to bring onto the table and conversations about what our youth are doing. And I think for our audience who don't know, we are talking about this because of the mentoring, but as well as Franklin's how he's shifted and is determined into boxing, and not just as something that he's just doing, but he's been on the process maybe of competing.
Yeah, he's actually gonna fight on the 27th.
On the
It's gonna be
27th?
his first event that he's gonna participate in. We actually just submitted all his paperwork so we can get a fight book, which is kind of like your passport. So yeah, we just putting the finishing touch to this last week, and Friday, I guess next Friday gets to relax. So we kind of step up the exercises, and
The pace.
yeah, Monday, Tuesday we're gonna go 100%, 110, and then kind of wind down. Don't overdo it, but I think he's definitely ready for it. And
Yeah, I love this story because it shows it's like Franklin was in, and I still think you're the perfect age to discover many things that you want to do, but you found something that you really like, and you guys are really committed, and you're committed, which is the most important part. Because Kevin can be committed, but if you don't have that drive, his work is basically pointless. But the combination of you wanting and him being there makes this journey and the story of Franklin amazing. And one of my question was, what is your favorite activity that you have been doing? But clearly, I would say it's boxing.
yeah,
Which I would want to get into, talk more about it. It's and I'm gonna start with you first. How has boxing helped shape the person you are today?
man, it helped a lot. I mean, it shaped me in a good way. I mean, I was, not doing what I was supposed to do growing up, getting into situations I shouldn't have, and I felt like boxing was like kind of like my getaway. I'd go to the gym 3 hours, work out, hit the bag, kind of let the frustration, anger, whatever I was dealing with that day, let it all out on the bag. After that, go home. I'm tired. Go stay home. Don't go out. So it definitely, I want to say in a sense, it saved me. From myself too, just because I was being reckless at times. But boxing definitely has helped and has had a great impact on me. And now I'm lucky enough to kind of pass that on to the next generation or the next group of kids that need it. So
How old were you when you started boxing?
I was 13 for a bit, but I was a little heavy. Well, heavy for that age. So I was fighting people, because boxing, when you spar or you fight, you're based on weight. So I was a heavy set kid, and so I took a break and then picked it back up at 16, 17, and I competed for like 2 years, and after that, it's kind of stopped, and I decided to become a trainer or a coach. But yeah, that's where we're at now, and luckily I got Franklin at a good time, 12, 13, where you can really kind of teach them certain things that they can apply to themselves and to their lives. So,
For sure. What about you? How has boxing shaped the person you are today? That's a very interesting question at your age, but
It's shaped me to have to be responsible and mature, and to not get in fights outside of the streets or do dumb stuff, And like Kevin said, it does really help me. Whenever I'm angry, I can just beat up the bags and go home and chill out. And it's shaped me good. I feel good. Back then, I kind of felt like what am I becoming? Now I'm oh, I'm becoming better now. I'm trying my best and stuff. Gotta keep the grind up.
yeah, I love that.
I love that too.
yeah, like I was telling you guys earlier, it's crazy because at that age, they don't have that conversation or they don't talk much. And to me, I feel like sometimes I'm talking to an adult and I just look over and it's Frank, 13 years old. I'm like, oh man, And sometimes, you know, he has things like, hey, he talks to me like a grown up. So it's crazy and it's amazing to see the growth.
I like how you guys both bring up the part where like it's helping you release your anger in some way. And especially since Franklin's only 13 or just turned 13, a lot of kids like don't have that outlet.
Yeah.
And would you recommend this to other kids who
To anybody and everybody, honestly. You know, I mean, like, how did you guys feel after the workout?
I felt great.
Right?
I felt great.
Yeah. So Tay went and had a session with Kimberly, and I had a session with Kevin. Unfortunately, Franklin couldn't be there, but I did train with you after. And we went and wanted to have an experience and understand a little bit about the boxing, like not even 1% of what boxing is. Yeah. But we went there, and we both are really into fitness, and but it was very different. I think the conditioning part definitely killed me.
Me too. I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah. And yeah, it was very interesting. And then also it looks very easy on screen. Oh, you're just punching. It looks like you're just punching. But there's so much technique, strategy, and sorry, it's a word I can't say. And mental work. I remember when there was a part where you wanted to, like, your arms wanted to give up.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin kept saying, no, give me 10 more, 10 more, 10 more. Kimberly's face was like, oh my God.
I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that go into it. And I'm so happy we got to experience that. And thank you for providing that for us, because it gave us a little bit more of an understanding of how committed Franklin is and what you're doing. Because it's definitely not, I think any sport is not easy. It has its own individual challenges and requirements of like mental and physical work. So boxing for sure is one of those where I was like, oh, that's definitely not an easy one.
And go ahead.
No,
You
go for it. Ladies first.
No, you go. I'm like kind of switching it. You go.
No, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna ask Franklin if at school do you ever like with your friends like tell them like, oh, I do boxing and like, oh, like this and that, and like be like, oh, you should try it or something.
I don't really I don't talk about like boxing that much. I'm kind of like, oh, it happened and stuff. I don't really brag, but I do tell my friends like, yeah, you should join boxing, because like, what if you have a hidden or skill that you don't know that you have, and like you try it out and you love it and you become pro in like a good 10 years. You just gotta stick to it though.
Can you guys share, just because he brought it up, can you guys share what led you guys to go into the boxing session? What got you to take Franklin, let's go boxing?
Well, I offer this to every
Oh, you do?
kid that I work with. Like, going back to what Kim said, you know, a lot of kids don't have an outlet, how to release the anger, whatever they're dealing with, right? And for me, boxing was my outlet. So I mean, it helped me a lot. So with Franklin, I'm like, hey, there was a lot of attitude problem or behavior problems, and I felt like, you know, sometimes it's probably more like something that's inside of him. He's holding on to maybe anger. I don't know what it was, but slowly was kind of chipping at it. And, you know, he ended up, yeah, let's go try it. You know, at first you can tell that there was some anger that he was holding, or he was holding something. Because the way he was hitting the bag, it's like hitting the bag really intense, really aggressive. Like, you know, just going all out on the bag. And so, I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, so I saw that with him. And, you know, it's like, hey, I like it. I'm like, all right, this is the deal. I can bring you here, but no fighting. Grades got to come back up, A's and B's, you know. Behavior at home. Give him the conditions, you know. And as soon as he started meeting all the conditions, the requirements, then, all right, now we can bring you 2-3 times a week. And then so slowly we got in, you know, we got to the point where he was coming 4 days a week. Sometimes it'd be 5, 6, sometimes, but yeah.
What was your experience the first time he took you? Like, what was going through your mind? Do you remember?
Yeah. Kinda. So like the first time he took me, I was like, oh, I thought it was just like really just punching, like you said, not that hard. And then I went in there and I was just like throwing haymakers and everywhere in the bags. And then I looked at a replay and I'm like, why throw it like that? And yeah, boxing is hard, but it gets fun when you learn how to do it. And when you're like, ooh, I look crispy or something like that. You're like, yeah, I want to keep it up and just keep going. Yeah, boxing gets fun.
Wow. And the more you went in there, the more you liked it, or when did you know that you really liked it?
It was like a mountain kind of like. I would go in there and I would have a good day, and then the next day I would really be like damn, like it's a bad day, you know. But I always kept pushing through it, and I found joy in boxing. It was like a thing in my heart that I wanted to do.
Wow. Do you think you want to do this professionally? Like, just even though you're very young, but
Hell yeah.
yeah, you see
You
yourself?
can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Frank the
that's a
Tank.
personal choice. you
Yeah.
know. I was kind of surprised when he was like, "Hey, man, I wanna compete. I wanna take this serious." I'm like, "All right." Starting going through the little process of doing certain things, getting them ready. First was the conditioning, and then a couple of weeks later, he's like, "Hey, man, I think I want to go pro." I was like, "We're not there yet, but it's a good long term goal." You know.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
can definitely get there, and no doubt in my mind that he won't be able to become a pro and be really be up there. So, his mind's locked in on that goal. But I always tell him that you got to have options, and it's good to have options. But he does want to do something else if that's not the route that he goes. I think he wanted to do something with school, right?
What?
Like you wanted to do something else with school. Like I
With-
forgot what you wanted to do when you grow up. Remember? Forgot what you said. But
forget.
it was like before we really got
Okay.
into boxing. But yeah, he's locked in on that goal to become pro. So a couple
So locked in? I forgot what I even said last time.
yeah.
Oh wow, I love that.
Yeah, I guess that's his only plan right now. So
And it's good that you're focused on something. It's easy as you grow older, it's easy for you to be distracted by multiple things. But if you're locked into something, in a way, it's very good because any sport will teach you a lot about a discipline, mental strength, and physical strength, of course. But I think the mental part is crucial because it's where like 99% of people don't continue because of the mental part. They can do the physical part, but the mental part is, I think, one of the hardest parts in any type of sport because it's you, right? It's all the way within you. How you have your mind, how, I think in gym world, how many reps you can do. You can push for one more. Your body can do it, but you gotta have that.
It's a
mindset.
battle.
Yeah, it's a
You
battle.
versus you.
Yeah.
it's like they say, boxing is 90% mental, 10% physical. So.
I would agree with that because a lot of, from when we were going, like even just the jump rope, we were like, oh, it's time. Is it time? But yeah.
It's like Kim wanting to give up, and I'm like, 10 more. She counting to 10 in her
I
head,
know.
so she kept going.
It's like I go to the gym, but I don't do that. Like,
Yeah, the
that's like,
cardio, yeah,
totally
yeah.
different.
different.
It was really fun. And just before I go into the PSA, we were doing how many
How many rounds?
sit-ups?
Oh, sit-ups.
I think it was 200, right? 200 the day when we went.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
And
no.
he told us to do kind of like to end our day was to do 200.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I told myself and I told Franklin, look, I work out, but I've never do this. So, and I just remember his encouragement, like he was there holding my feet and he's like, you got this. and then he would say like, I'll wait for you if you want. Like we could do it together. But it was just such you have a love for it, but not just within yourself, but for others. And that you can feel that, which is awesome.
Touched on that, like he motivates me. Like I have to step up my game as a coach. I'm like, we always got to be learning and growing. And not only that, he definitely motivates every other kid that goes in there. Even he helps me out with the new kids that come in. I'm like, hey, can you teach him the basics, or can you do this for him? Can you with him? And he's like, yeah, fine, I'll help him. So he definitely helps and motivates the kids around him.
Well, I'm excited to listen to you share more about your experience, and then we can talk about your sparring that happened last week, and yeah, we can share that. But before we do, we're gonna play a short PSA, and we'll be right back.
Looking for a way to make a local impact and take action against climate change in your community? The Center for Volunteer and Nonprofit Leadership, in partnership with CA Climate Action Corps, California Volunteers, Office of the Governor, has an ongoing climate action wildfire prevention project in the 4 counties that we serve: Marin, Napa, Solano, and Sonoma. The mission of this project is to engage community members in volunteer work to reduce wildfire risk in communities around the North Bay. Since September 2022, we have recruited over 500 climate volunteers. In Marin, CVNL has an ongoing wildfire prevention project called San Pedro Ridge Fire Safety. San Pedro Ridge Fire Safety is led by Robin Pindoli and is a collection of friends and neighbors from throughout the county who are working to protect neighborhoods throughout San Rafael from wildfire. Join them 2 Saturdays a month to pull invasive French broom and help our local woodlands get back to health. The CVNL Climate Impact Project is a great volunteer opportunity for students in need of community service hours. Go to volunteernow.org/climate-impact-project to sign up today.
Hello, guys, and welcome back. And now we're on the second part of the show. And with going back to what we were talking about, I wanted to ask both of you what has been a challenge with boxing within like your own boxing or like with one another.
Do you want to go first?
Wait, can you repeat that?
What has been a challenge with boxing so far?
A challenge with boxing, it's been sometimes the motivation, and some days I feel like kind of down, that I'm like and then sometimes I'm like good and bad. The challenges about boxing is also like I'm always trying to like keep myself up. I always gotta like run some miles, and I can never let myself down. And you gotta set big goals if you have big dreams. And like they say, and dreams is not what you dream of. It's what you don't like see in a dream. It's what you don't think of doing. And like you gotta get used to the uncomfortable.
I agree with you 100% on that. And I'm so impressed, or not even impressed. You're very inspiring the way that you think that way, because it's hard for people to even, the biggest challenge, as mentioned before we went on the break, is the mental part. And it doesn't just happen to people in sport. It happens with any goal that you have, whether it's school, work, that the motivation tends to die very quickly.
Yeah.
But you have to remember why you're doing it. Your why is the strongest thing that shouldn't go away. Because why are you training? Why are you running? Why are you going to school? If you have that why very clear, it helps you when you don't want to get up and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Kevin, for you?
Honestly, well, for us, I think it's really challenging. When I feel like he needs to take a break, because he's consistent, which is great. But sometimes you need to give yourself a break. Mm-hmm. And, there's times where we're at the gym, like, all right, we're done. Now I want to keep going. And it gets to the point where he gets frustrated and he gets upset with me because he wants to keep going. Mm. But, I have to let him know, hey, you got to stop, take a break, take a rest, or you're good for the day. Mm-hmm. Especially going back to back and putting in the amount of work that he does, is you definitely need to let the body rest. Like on Saturday, he's like, hey, pick a number between 1 and, what was it? 1 and
10.
1 and 10. And I thought it was like, I'm like 8. He's like, all right, 8 miles it is.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh,
wow. So Saturday, he was just going through it. Not going through it, but he had some things going on. So he's like, hey, I couldn't run the 8 miles, but I ran 2. I'm like, oh, you're fine. Enjoy the rest of the week, But I don't even tell him that anymore, because I know the work that he's putting in during the week. And then Monday comes, he sent. I wasn't able to see him on Monday, and he sends me a screenshot. He ran 9 miles without me asking or without me knowing. He just goes in and does his work. So 9 miles. I'm like, man, I wasn't even there mentally or physically at that age running 9 miles. You know.
Yeah, I saw that screenshot you posted, and
Yeah.
I was like, I liked it because I was like, what? 9 miles?
That is crazy
9
for your
miles.
age. I feel like even people older than you aren't even doing that.
And it's not like 10-mile run.
I know.
It's like 8:24 each mile. So he's really, definitely dedicated. But yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge. Trying to find that spot or that sweet spot to rest. And he always challenges himself every single day. I tell him, hey, so we got a routine. After the workout, do your abs. I usually tell him 100, 150 sit-ups or whatever. He's like, no, I'm gonna do 200. I was like, all right. And then he challenges himself the next day, 300, then 400, then 5. So right now he's at 6,000. I mean 6,000, 600. I'm already. Hey, keep going.
He's
But-
already making you a
Yeah.
like superhero.
But so he's always challenging himself, and like I said, that's the biggest challenge for us. But outside of that, I think looking for sparring partners for him, because like I said, boxing's on age and weight. So he's 13 and he weighs 85 pounds. So that's really hard to come by. We've been looking for some partners, I guess, to dance with for a while now, until like we finally found somebody in Vallejo and in Napa that are 12 and 13, but they weigh the same. So yeah, so right now in Marin City, we just kind of usually spar what we have there, but they're older kids, like 14, 15, and they're 120, 130. So he's always, David and Goliath. He's always going up against the bigger people, bigger kids. But he holds his own.
It builds you.
Yeah.
How is it like sparring with the older kids?
It's like, it's good, but it's also kind of risky. So I can't trade with these kids. I can't really let them hit me and then like be stupid. So sometimes I gotta think, and it's good. I like it, but sparring with kids that are my weight, way better.
It's easier, but the sparring sessions where they are older kids, it's all controlled. Either I'm in the middle of the ring, kind of controlling it, because obviously safety is first. And when they're inside, they're my kids. I don't want my kids to get hurt. I have that big responsibility that, they come out the way they went in. So it's 100%. But that's the thing that we work on all the time is defense. So he hasn't taken any punishment really. Obviously, it's a contact sport, but he's definitely really good at moving his head, right?
Yeah. Come on, man.
No, that's the main thing we've been
How was
working
your experience this weekend? I mean, last week, sparring. How was it with the Vallejo?
Yes, it was actually on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. How was it? How'd you feel?
It was really fun. I liked it. And the first fight, we fought some like little kid or some kid named like Pitbull or something.
Yeah, they give you your nicknames, So that
So
Yeah.
so I was like, I know his like little
kid,
his little thing,
So
and-
they call him Pitbull because he's a little aggressive and he comes forward,
Oh,
ready to fight. So
okay.
he was telling me, it's like, hey, I'm kind of nervous. Like I was like, hey, it's normal, butterflies. But once you land the first hit or you get hit, boom, you wake up and now you're in the zone. But
And like, yeah, he hit me with I think a hook in the face, and it kind of snapped me. In the third round, I got him pretty good with the right hand and knocked him down. But I like the sparring, and it was worth it. Like, it's no risk, no story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the bad part was I forgot my raps.
he's sad about his raps.
What do wraps do?
Protect your hand. You know when you wrap your hands.
Oh, yeah.
So
It hurt me because I paid for them, bro.
Oh, you left them there?
Yeah.
Oh.
well, we don't know what happened to them. but
Oh.
We're pretty sure he left them there.
Oh,
That's all right. We can get some new ones, but
I hate when that happens and I leave something.
yeah, it's like your favorite water bottle.
Yeah,
Forgot
I
it.
actually lost my water bottle recently. So I get how that feels.
So you know what it feels like.
Can you share with me a little bit more about your nervousness? Like, what were you feeling? Were you anxious? Were you sweating before you were, in the ring?
When I was out there, I was just thinking of like everything that could happen to me. I'm like, what if I like disappoint my coach? Or what if I'm like bad, Because you never know if it's a good day or a bad day. And I feel like really anxious. And before every fight, I always like pray. I'm always there like praying, so like God gives me strength. And yeah, I am really nervous before it.
That's awesome. You want to go?
No, I was gonna say I love that.
There was something that my mom always shares with me. My brother was a track runner, and he always has like, it's funny, I'm embarrassing right now, but he always say that I have to go to the bathroom before I go on a race. And I asked him why. He's like, 'cause I get so nervous. Like, I need to go to the bathroom. And there's a scene in Creed. I don't know if you watched Creed, in the first one, I believe, where he's got his gloves on, everything on, and he tells I don't remember who he tells, but he says like, take it off. And they're like, why? We just put them on. He's like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And my brother said, that's exactly how I feel before every race. And my mom had said this quote to us and said that if you love what you do, you're always going to be nervous. You're always going to feel that butterfly in your stomach. So if you feel it, don't think it's a bad thing. Think it's that you love what you're doing, so you want to do your best. But the minute you don't feel that, so if you're in, for example, in a ring and you don't feel that, it means that you've stopped loving what you're doing, because you should always have that like adrenaline in a way. Yeah. And so I love comparing those two, which is why I wanted to ask you, were you nervous? Because my brother always shares that story. He's like, that scene will always be relatable to me. Yeah. Do you want to add anything?
I was gonna say, how is it like when with your first sparring and then now your tournament? Is it a tournament or what?
No, it's just an event. It's
was that his first one? Was that your first one?
So there's sparring, which is like I was explaining to you guys. That's our scrimmage. Mm-hmm. That's our practice fight. I guess unfortunately, that's how you learn. Mm-hmm. And then you have like local events where certain gyms host that event and they organize with everybody that wants to fight. So this is going to be an event in Santa Rosa that we're going to participate in. And then down the line, when he starts getting a couple more fights under his belt, then we can kind of enter a tournament style event. Mm-hmm. So a big one that's known as like the Golden Gloves. So
I've heard of that.
Yeah. So that's kind of well known in the local area. Mm-hmm. There's local, there's region, and then there's, I think I got it wrong, but it's small scale, local, state, and then region. Mm-hmm. So those tournaments kind of can qualify you. Also, once you start getting fights, you become an open fighter. I think when you have more than 8 fights, so you can be 10 fights, and you can probably fight someone that has 20 fights. So it's an open class. So right now we're novice. So after a couple fights, I think we'll be entering the Golden Gloves next year. So hopefully that's in March. Okay. So that's kind of something I have planned for him, if he continues to show the same love. So right now we have the 27th, and then June 3rd, and then July 15th that we're looking to compete. We haven't gotten matched for the other 2 events. So they, like I said, they find an opponent that has the same experience as you, age and weight. So this upcoming Saturday, not this one, but the next, we found a guy, same age, same weight, so no fights. So both of them are going to have their first fight, same day.
And same last name.
And they have
oh, really?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the real Garcia.
How do you feel for it?
I feel like nervous too, but yeah, I know I got it.
You got it?
You gotta love yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you feel going into this fight, knowing that you just like went through a spar and like had basically your first kind of in a way first fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, outside is that's gonna be our second time. We've been to Vallejo before,
Oh,
but this is second time where he's actually, at this level. Now he knows what he's doing. Now he knows why he's throwing the jab. Now he knows why he's stepping back or stepping aside or doing certain movements, right?
Yeah.
So before it was kind of like probably like a month in, So now this time around is he's completely taking over the match. So I was talking to him before we got there. I'm like, hey man, like depending on how you do today, it's kind of gonna let us know where we're at and if we're gonna take that fight if we get matched. So he knocked down both opponents and
Yeah, we saw those videos. Those looked really good punches.
yeah. So I was like, hey man, I think you're ready. I no doubt in my mind that you're not, and I know he's gonna win. So it was all up to him, and I think he was kind of nervous. He's like, hey, he's always tough on himself too. So he's like, no, I didn't do good. I need to work on things. We got to go back to the gym, back to the drawing board. I'm like, no, man, just little things that we're always gonna need to work on something. But I feel like he's ready, mentally, physically, he's ready. He went up against two different opponents, so his conditioning is really on top notch right now. Like he didn't get tired.
Oh, is that why they do conditioning? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My brain is like adding things up right now.
No, yeah, so-
Because it's multiple rounds, right?
Yeah, it
And
can be
those
multiple rounds. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we usually do 3-minute rounds, but he usually likes to spar quite a few rounds. So we do like 4 to 6 when we can, and those are 3 minutes. But in a competition, it's 2 minutes instead of 3.
Oh, okay.
So it's shorter. So he's gonna have to throw more in that short amount of time. But yeah, that's why he's running. Like the other 2 kids were already huffing and puffing. He's like, "Is that it? Like who else? Like who's next?"
Yeah, I
so-
can see how that is very important. I am not very into boxing, but when the big fights is everywhere, social media. But I think connecting, being, getting that little taste of a workout, seeing Franklin, and it's all adding up, which is amazing.
Oh, wait.
It's okay. We are running out of time, but can you share a moment or experience with Franklin that has stayed with you? And this goes to you.
There's a lot, but I'll probably touch 2. One with outside of boxing and one inside of boxing. I guess one day I was kind of feeling off. Like he said, you have good days and bad days, and that definitely was probably one of my bad days. And it's crazy because at this point we were spending a lot of time together. And he looks over, he's like, "Hey man, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." I was trying to hide it because I didn't want my energy to get on him before we go into the gym, and it kind of messes up his energy and his flow. I was like, "No, I'm fine, man." And he's like, "No, what's wrong?" I was like, "Nah, nothing," like, and then I kind of turned on the music a little bit, and he's like, kept looking at me. He's like, "Hey, what's wrong?" I was like, "It's just, not my day." He's like, "I don't know what you're going through, but just know that you're gonna pass. It's gonna pass. Tomorrow's a new day. Like, you can change the outcome." And I was like, "Wow." Like this kid, like hearing it from him too, and the fact that he kind of was like getting emotionally intelligent, and like kind of seeing how one can kind of act different, and that moment is gonna be with me for my lifetime, I think. And I was like, damn, this kid really kind of like, hey, it's okay. You're gonna go through those bad days, and tomorrow's gonna be a new day, and it's gonna be good. You'll be all right. And yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're in the car, remember?
He's like,
Yeah.
Wait, was it driving to the gym?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he goes like, and on top of that, it's kind of gloomy, It was during the time it was raining, so it was kind of like And then in the gym, just him kind of like stepping it up, making me step up my game, and then everybody around him, because they see a kid that's younger than him running the miles, saying yes, never complaining. Like, even on my head, go do this. Like, some kids like, I already did that, or I gotta run. I already ran PE. And he's like, all right, what's next? you know, so that makes me kind of step up my game as a coach, and he makes everybody step up. And they see how he works. He's like, man, I want to do that. So now I have another kid that just started. He's 13 as well. And it's kind of like, it was a shock to him. It's like, he's my age, but he's doing all this. So that kind of motivated him, and like, I can do it too. So now he's kind of following the way he moves and how he works. So now he's, hey, let me run. Let me do this. So those are two things that kind of stick out. That's going to be with me for a while, for a long time.
That's awesome. What about you? What's a moment or experience you've had with Kevin that has stayed with you?
A good two moments. There's a lot, like, actually. But the first, like, moment that was, like, so, like, satisfying, felt so good, and, like, felt like a heartwarming time, like, when we were like, hey. Yeah. It was like that one day. I don't know if it was a Saturday. We were like, okay, today's a light day, right?
Yeah.
And then when we put the pads on, I felt like focused, and we did like all the combos. We got all the good combos, like bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
And then like the last touch was like poof, and I felt like let's go, like I just did this, like, and it was great.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, when you throw that a certain punch and you hear that little pop, like that little crispy, like little.
Yeah,
Right.
Kimberly was saying, I like when
I like that.
So that day, it was like Saturday morning. Like, he definitely was there like 4 days of the week. I'm like, we're gonna do something like just paddle work, defense, and then, you know, everything I kept calling out. We were one.
Okay.
Everything was just clicking. Like, I stopped calling out things, and we were just flowing together.
Oh, okay.
And then to finish it, I just said 1, 1, 2, and it was just that boom, right? That little crispy noise that we like. And yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of like where the chemistry kind of became what it is now.
And another like good day that was fun for me too was like running with Kevin in the Golden Gate Bridge. I know it probably felt like it kind of felt like hell, but then like then
I was
no.
dying.
Then no,
Can't keep up with his legs, man.
It was like we jinxed it. We were like, oh, today's a good day. It's not gonna be windy at all. We got out the car. Windy.
Too.
Yeah. But it was fun, like just running with him and spending time with my coach, going all the way to San Francisco, and it was like great. I liked it. It was a good day.
And Franklin, with your experience with working with Kevin and this mentorship program, would you recommend it to the youth, and why?
Yeah, I would recommend it to the youth. We all have hidden talents. We all, like I said earlier, you don't know if you're good at it until you try it. And yeah, you can change from it too. Like you can change your mindset and mentality from it too. He'll help you a lot.
Well, I'm so happy that we got you here, Franklin. You are our youngest guest on the show, and thank you, Kevin, for making this work as well. And for the audience, he wanted to do this as well. We asked Franklin, and he said, let's go. So it was really exciting and heartwarming for us that you wanted to be on the show. And I really, from Tay and myself, we wish you the best of the best, and we hope to watch you grow and, you know, continue your journey professionally and even in your academic success as well. And for those who don't know, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Kevin is working on bringing, you know, a boxing place here with MCM that is in the works. So if you are all interested, you know, start talking about it, start bringing it up, bringing awareness to it so we can make this happen. And just a place for youth like Kevin, girls or boys who want to get involved in the sport or even just try it out. You know, we are in the hopes of making that work, and Kevin as a coach and just providing that space for the youth. So that is in the making, and I wanted to put that on the table.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you want to, you know, take a minute to share about what you're envisioning.
Whole program, like after school program. You know, we don't have much out here in San Rafael or in Marin County for after school, and I feel like you know, that'd be a good thing for the youth and for the kids growing up to have something to go to after school instead of going home or doing what they're doing. But yeah, hopefully we have something in the works. Just finding a location at this point. We have everything ready to go, just waiting on that location. But once we get that, we're gonna have the doors open to anybody and everybody.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Yeah. And we are near the end of the show. Do you guys want to share any last words before we end?
If you guys want to try it out or are interested and you guys have questions, shoot me a DM at Coach Kev _415 on Instagram. And then you can follow my little guy too and see his journey. And also I'm going to go ahead and probably go live for his fight on Saturday, May 27th. Do you want to add anything, little man?
Yeah, I say try boxing. Everybody should try it. It's great. And go follow Coach.
Thank you guys both for being on the show.
Thank you.
Franklin.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, Franklin, you're so like adorable. And you just remind me of my little brother. Yeah. And I just like love your mindset and how young you are, and like you're doing so much at your age, and you already know like you have that mindset, which is like everything.
Yeah, and it's gonna take him really far.
Yeah,
like I said, wherever he does, wherever, whenever, what he chooses to do, he's definitely gonna, make it.
Yeah. I have a question. I know that in Boxing World, like they have. What last name is he using? Garcia? Is that his last name?
Honestly, we haven't gone to that point.
That was a curiosity I had.
I guess you can answer that question now. Valle or Garcia? Franklin Valle or Garcia?
Franklin Garcia.
Yeah. There you are.
Okay. That's awesome.
So, we'll figure it out.
But it goes by Frank the Tank.
There you go.
Why Frank the Tank?
Because I can eat punches and I can throw punches.
He's a tank. Heavy artillery right here.
Yep.
That's awesome. So where are you in school right now? Are you in Davidson?
No, I go to Hamilton School.
Oh, okay. And then he's gonna be how many more years until he's in like high school?
2.
Oh, 2? What?
2?
6th grader?
No, 7th. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
So one more?
2 counting this one. So 1.
Technically one.
Technically one.
Technically one.
Okay.
So
1 more year, and then he's gonna be in high school, which is gonna be crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, seeing him grow.
Well, we're really excited again. Thank you both for being on here, and it's awesome to see youth who are, discovering their passions. And as he mentioned before, you're so committed to this, which is amazing. And along the way, though, if something else catches your attention, I mean, it's absolutely okay. You're at an age where it's discovery. Some of us find it way earlier, and that could be you in your case. And if it's something you really want to do, and you are right now at your age, you're doing the work, you have the drive and the desire, and if you keep that going, you will go a long way. And who knows, maybe a professional boxer is born here in Marin County, and you have a story that started here. So
yeah,
I'm really proud of you. I've seen a little bit of the work that you're doing, just like a little bit, and can imagine every time you work with him how it feels and how exciting and all the emotions you get just watching him with that passion. It's just so contagious. Like it just brings a lot of people to you, and that's exactly what I saw in you when I was like, Franklin has this drive and this like light around him that's so amazing. And so to the youth out there, and for anyone who's listening to this podcast, I think our message is, find a mentor that you can really connect with, and it might take a couple tries until you find the right one, and you may have hidden talents that you don't know. So go try new things in sport, art, anything.
Experience it.
Yeah, experience it. And 3, it's finding the right support system, right? To have that mindset and grind. Yes. And with that being said, thank you so much for tuning